Hi guys, it's me, it's your boy Bro, and I am your bro man. Lunar Lenz is where speed meets light. They are the photographers that take these pictures of my cars and motorcycles. Today, we have a Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer is Ford's mid-size SUV. This is a 2018 Ford Explorer in the XLT trim. Now, if you're in the market looking for a mid-size SUV, why look at the Ford? Here are a few reasons why, and I'll give you a couple of things that I don't like about it. So the first reason is just the look. It has a wide and aggressive stack. I love the look of a Ford Explorer. Looks awesome. It even has Explorer written here. So that Explorer logo is in kind of like a matte black gray finish that matches the grille, and the rims, they match the color of the grille and the logo on the hood. And this car has amazing safety ratings. This was rated a 5 out of 5 by the NHTSA. This was a 5-star in front and side collision and 4 out of 5 on rollover test. This is a big SUV with awesome safety ratings. The theme continues of that matte black finish of the logo, the grille, the wheels, the trim. Yeah, it gives it a nice finish and nice stealthy look. This is very roomy and very spacious. I mean, there's tons of headroom and legroom, and it's got a lot of cargo space. Come on, let's go and take a look at it. So let's say you don't have your keys in your pocket, or you've left the keys in and you've locked the car. You want to get in. How do you do that? Most Fords come with this keypad. Everybody gets a code and you can key in the code on the keypad. To do that, you just run your finger down and see that lights up whatever your code is. You can punch it in. So the front seat, the driver and passenger seat, you can see there's a lot of room. I can control a lot of things from your steering wheel. It's got a lot of controls here, and as you toggle through the menu, you'll see the menu options change on the right side of your instrument cluster. And to your left, you have a button to open your trunk and to activate towing mode. So on the interior, there's this nice little aluminum insert that runs throughout the dash. See, it's on both sides and it continues all the way to the back. And for those who like to have a little fun, this also has a sport mode. You can put it in sport mode and you can shift up or down. And then you have a little dial here which lets you toggle through the different modes. This is Ford's sync interface. You know, this is all touchscreen, and you can toggle through your audio. You can set up your climate control. If you have a phone linked, and there's navigation. You also have apps that you can download. The center console is pretty standard for a Ford, and that's not a knock on them. That works and it gets the job done. You have a lot of headroom and legroom back in the second row of seating as well. It's really roomy, and as you can see, that little aluminum insert that continues in the second row of seating too. That's a nice little attention to detail. Now I'm in the third row of seats. Now the seats here are pretty decent. I have a lot of headroom. I'm really surprised by that. Again, like, I'm about 5'10". I still have a few inches of headroom up here. There's just enough legroom back here. There's not a lot, but it's just enough. And on the last row, on the third row of seats, you have these little vents here. You can control airflow for yourself. You have a little reading lamp here. You can turn it on, off, whatever. Right now the doors are open, so this is on. You have a cup holder and 2 little storage bins. In the trunk, you have a power outlet on the left side, and then behind this little compartment, you have some more storage space. First impression, sitting behind the wheel, you are sitting high up. You have a decent view of everything. Now visibility is amazing in this car. You have this big windshield. You can see all across, on all sides. Now the ride on this car, again, it's very comfortable. There's no road noise. The mirrors on both ends are pretty big, and you get to see a lot behind you actually. And you might think like, hey, this does not have the sunroof and all that fun stuff that my other SUVs had.
This is in the XLT trim. The further you get into the higher trim levels, more stuff comes standard. And the higher up you climb in the trim levels, of course, there's a dollar figure associated with it. Oh, now we're at the red light. So let's see how this thing does in sport mode. I just put it in sport mode. It's pretty simple. You just pull the lever back from D to S. Green light, let's go. Sport mode is where this thing comes alive. In a lot of SUVs, I've seen that the sport mode is just like a gimmicky mode. You get like the gauges change and stuff like that, and not much to it. But not on this one. It's like, let's go. What you got, son? Let's go. I love it. It's stupid, but so am I. If you get a mid-size SUV, you probably have a family. You want to get them from point A to point B, shuttle them around to your kids' practices or whatever, load your trunk with groceries when you do your grocery run. This checks those boxes, and hey, and every now and then you might want to have some fun with it, and that's why you have the sport mode. The sport mode lets you have some fun when you are tired of doing your adult activities and responsibilities. And see, now that we're in drive mode, you feel the difference. The engine quietens down. The interior is so quiet. There's no road noise. It's just quiet. It's comfy, it's spacious, it's quiet, and in my opinion, it looks like a badass. If those are the boxes that you need checked, well, you should look at this car. This is something. If you want something a little more fancy or something like that, just climb up the trim levels. Get a limited, get a sport, get a platinum, whatever your heart desires. I know that for the sport and the platinum, you get Ford's EcoBoost V6. So that's a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 that puts out about 365 horses. That will be even more fun to drive in sport mode. This is for the person who has responsibilities, but every now and then wants to just let loose and have some fun. Ford used to stand for found on the road dead, but this was way back in the 60s and 70s. But nowadays they have upped their game. Things don't fall apart. I have had 5 or 6 Fords. I've had the F-150, I've had a Mustang, I've had a Thunderbird, I've had a couple of Lincolns, so none of them had any major issues at all. A new thing that Ford stands for now is first on race day. So the couple of things I don't like about the Explorer, the first thing is fuel economy. In this current setup with the all-wheel drive or the 4x4 and the V6, this gives you about 16 miles to a gallon in the city and 22 on the highway. My F-150 gets me 17 miles to a gallon in the city and 25 on the highway. The second thing is, this is not an Explorer fault so much as a Ford thing. I would have loved to see a few more features as standard instead of options. For example, the Explorer in the XLT trim did not have that tailgate with that motion tailgate where you put your foot under the tailgate and the trunk pops open. It did not have it in the XLT. It had it in the limited and models upwards. So I would have loved to see a few more features as standard. On that note, let's head back, talk about the cost of ownership, and wrap up this video. The cost of ownership on the Ford Explorer, it's had 6 oil changes at 70 bucks a pop. That's about $420. 1 new set of tires, all 4. That's about $1,200, and a new battery for about $120. That's a total of about $1,740. If you divide the cost by the number of days, it's about $1.60 a day. So let's assign it a score. On the looks, it's an 8 out of 10. On the Brap, it's a 4 out of 10. On the maintenance, it's a little high compared to the other mid-size SUVs, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And on the usability, I love that it's got tons of space. It's a 9 out of 10 for a combined Bhromance score of 7 out of 10.
Why should you consider a Ford Explorer? It looks badass. It's roomy and spacious on the inside, even in the third row. It can tow up to 5,000 pounds, and I felt that it's a very fun SUV to drive, especially when you put it in sport mode. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Until next week, bro out.